Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is State Representative Kim Schofield, and I represent parts of Clayton, Fulton, and the city of Atlanta. And we're here today just to really celebrate the fact of the passing of the CROWN Act in Clayton County. You know, the CROWN Act the acronym actually stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. It's a law that prohibits race-based hair discrimination, which denies employment or educational opportunities, housing because of hair texture or protective styles, including braids, locks, twists, knots, anything it's out of what your natural hair comes out of your head, sometimes is viewed as discrimination. And so the CROWN Act started in 2019 in California was the first place to pass the CROWN Act. And this has been a national movement. We recognize that beauty is not defined by a color or hair, but what it is defined as is the natural things that we were born and are inherited with, and it should not be frowned on any level or used as discriminatory practices. So we want to take this time and say that there have been many cities and counties across Georgia that are beginning to adopt the CROWN Act as part of an ending of discrimination regarding hair discrimination or that prohibits and is a barrier for most. But more importantly, Clayton County has been one of these counties that stepped up and said, we're not going to have any barriers that prohibit our employees and people that live here from experiencing racism because of their hair. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Representative Rhonda Burnough, who will share a little bit of words from our chairman, Jeff Turner.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. Chairman Turner could not be here this afternoon, and so he gave me a quote, and I decided that it would be more fitting that the words come from the chairman of the county. Clayton County is proud to support legislation that calls for equality of all and to ensure that no one is discriminated against for any reason. And that is why it was so important for Clayton County to support this. The Commissioner Sonna Gregory carried this legislation for us in the county, and we wanted to thank her for her support. She wasn't able to be with us today.
And good afternoon. I'm State Representative Sandra G. Scott, and I would like to say that Henry County passed the CROWN Act last year, and I would like to congratulate them again. And as we continue to go around the state of Georgia, from city to city and county to county, to make sure that they all pass the CROWN Act. And at that time, we would love for the state to pass the legislation on the CROWN Act, because it is an act that should be passed. And at this day and time, we should not have to worry about how we wear our natural hair. We should not be discriminated against at any level, definitely for not because of the hair that we were born with and the way that we decide to wear it. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Scott. The issue of, I get questions on why is this important for such a time in this current state? Well, it's important because there are such biases that come when you see people of color and the way that we wear our head. There's actually data that proves that if you have a physician that has straight natural hair, you perceive that African-American physician as a smarter, more equipped physician than someone that has twists or braids or locks in their hair. So we've got to change the narrative, erase the stereotypes when it comes to hair. I know even in the media, it is sometimes perceived that it is not appropriate for media folks to wear their hair in braids or in certain areas. So we've got some work to do to educate those that are in various industries on the importance and the significance that this is a hair that comes out of our head. This is a natural function. When you eliminate the chemicals and the processes that you're using in these products, it really does affect your health. So protective styles like braids or locks are ways that we improve the health, the quality of our lives. So hair discrimination is not about a physical appearance. It is really about a social, it is a part of a health, and it is part of a narrative of defining who beauty, what beauty is, what it looks like, and being comfortable with being our natural selves. The importance of the CROWN Act is a statewide initiative. It's a national initiative, and we are asking everybody to be comfortable and support the CROWN Act as a way to remove the barriers in education and housing and in the workplace. Thank you. At this time, I'll open it up for any questions from the media.
Commissioner Franklin, do you have a statement you want to make?
I just want to say thank you to our delegation for bringing this forth, because this is extremely important to us. As a mother of 3 girls and the oldest daughter of 4 girls, all of your statements are not only true, but it definitely needs to be continually supported throughout our communities and throughout each and every one of the counties, including Henry and Clayton. And I look forward to the United States adopting this as a new policy and a way of understanding that multiculturalism is the best way to go at the end of the day. And we have to understand one another and not judge each other. So I think this is awesome. Thank you so very much. And thank you again to my fellow commissioner, Commissioner Sonna Gregory, who was not able to make it today. And thank you, Representative Burnough, for making this happen, and Representative Schofield.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open it up to the media for any questions.
Good afternoon, ladies. It's Robin Kemp from the Clayton Crescent. I was wondering if any of you felt comfortable sharing an instance in which you personally had experienced this kind of discrimination.
Sure. I know I worked in the beginning when I started with a particular healthcare system. My hair was a processed perm hair. And I know that once I started going natural, what happened was, you know, there were just comments that were made like, well, we really like your hair that way, but when are you going back to the other way that you wore it? And so, you know, it leaves you in a quandary of being defined. Am I being judged? There were a couple of conversations that we don't represent the look of the organization. And so this was a while back, that this is, you know, about 10, 20 years ago when I worked for this particular area, but it was new, it was fresh, but we knew that our professional development was tied to how we wore our hair and the statement that it made to the public. It had nothing to do with our skill set or our abilities. But when you define someone by their physical appearance and you're using that as a way to discriminate or hold them back, we know there have been people that have not gotten jobs because of their hair. There are students that, I know last year at the Capitol, there were a couple of students that, young men that came to me and said, you know, they are judged when they go into a store because they have locks or they have braids, and they're deemed as something less than a consumer. You know, we've got to break that stereotype and that mold, and that is a racist behavior. We're not moving into a space of inclusion and equity, but we're celebrating. The CROWN Act will now celebrate and encourage people to celebrate where they are and who they are. This bill passed on the federal level, on the House side, and we are hopeful that it will pass on the Senate side with our additions to the help of Congressman, Senator Ossoff and Senator Warnock. And so we're looking forward to making sure that the CROWN Act is moving forward. Anyone else? Anything else? Well, thank you for being here.
Go ahead.
And we look forward to moving this Crown Act and getting it passed in other cities. But right now we are celebrating and very thankful to Clayton County for pioneering and making things happen to make Clayton County a better workplace to live, work, play, and worship. Thank you.